ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
It is Wednesday, January 14th. We're here at the Cam Henderson Center for Marshall basketball. Welcome into today's edition of Your Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Our text line this hour is brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop. We'll do that now at 304-396-TALK. That is 304-396-8255. I'm going to give you a chance to win a pair of tickets to the next Marshall game. Thundering Herd will be right back here on Saturday taking on JMU. And I've got a pair of tickets for our text line winner today. So get those texts in now. 304-396-TALK. 304-396-8255. Brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop. Coming up today on the program, we're going to hear from Ryan Crisp in a few minutes. He's the Associate Athletics Director, Ticket Sales and Fan Engagement. Of course, we got a 4-game home stand here in Huntington for the Thundering Herd, so he's going to tell you a little bit more about that. Also, there's a big swim meet coming up on Friday and Saturday for the women's swim and diving team. Duquesne's going to be on Friday at 6 p.m. and then right back at it in the morning on Saturday against Bowling Green and Duquesne, and that's going to be 11 a.m. That's going to be right before, of course, basketball. Make a day of it if you want to. You can come out and support the swim and dive team early, and then you can stick around and you've got Marshall basketball. So Ryan's going to tell us a little bit more about that and anything else that's upcoming that you should know about. And that's going to be in about 10 minutes or so. He's here at the Cam Henderson Center as it's starting to come to life. You've got a couple of players already on the court just shooting around as we're a couple of hours away from today's contest against Coastal Carolina. This is an interesting matchup for the Thundering Herd. A lot of pressure on Marshall, I think, coming into this one, even though the last game was maybe just a hiccup. It's an outlier, right? Marshall losing the last game against a team that it already had beaten in Georgia State 81-73. Now, it's not necessarily the loss that's the big thing for a lot of people. It's how the Herd lost that game. Now, the positives. Wyatt Fricks, 21 points in that game. He was 9-6 from the field, hit tremendous amount of shots. He had a couple of blocks, had 3 steals. He also had 10 rebounds. So he had a double-double. And Noah Schutte had 11 points. And before he fouled out, Joseph Landon had 15 points going. But that's where we start. 3 players foul out. Jalen Spear, you only got 3 points out of him. And you also had Matt Van Komen. You need him on the floor. He gives you that size and presence. He fouls out with only 6 points. He had a couple assists, no blocks, 18 minutes of game time for him. So you lose some key components. Also, you foul 33 times. That is, I think, unacceptable in this day and age of college basketball. You have to keep your team on the floor, especially in league play. With Georgia State, we knew one of the strengths this team had was hitting free throws. If you send Georgia State to the free throw line, it's going to make its free throws, and that's free points. How many free points did the Thundering Herd give up? Well, Marshall was 13 of 22. Georgia State was 33 of 39, and you balance it out, that's 20 more points from the free throw line for Georgia State than the Thundering Herd. And that's a big reason why the Herd lost that game, 81-73. You heard Coach Jackson's comments the other day. He talked about this team didn't do anything special. Georgia State in that second half alone only shot 8 of 23. 35% from the field, 2 of 9 from the three-point line for 22%. As a team, it shot 21 of 54 for 38.9%. Marshall wasn't much better, 25 of 61 in that game for 41%. But the free throws, 13 of 22, not many opportunities there. The three-point line was a little bit better for the Herd. Only 3 of 13, though, in that second half. Team finished 10 of 33. So there's a lot of things that you can take away from this game, and that you hope that it's just a one-time thing for Marshall. Marshall, of course, has had situations where it struggled. It sent teams to the free throw line, giving up a lot of free points or there have been lulls in the action for the Thundering Herd, and Marshall's had to hang on to win the contest. So we hope if the Thundering Herd maybe gets the message that you got to show up, you can't make, as Coach talked about it, described, stupid fouls, silly fouls, and that's really the story of why the Herd lost. It beat itself on the court. Now, one game, you don't define the team based on one game, using Coach's words. Now, if Marshall comes out tonight and we've got foul trouble again, or Marshall goes cold, then we're going to have a trend here. But this is a team coming in to Huntington that is going to be competitive with the Thundering Herd, but historically Marshall has dominated this young series. It began when Marshall joined the Sun Belt. Marshall leads the all-time series 5-1. Marshall has never lost to Coastal Carolina here in Huntington, leads that series 3-0. Now, the Thundering Herd on the road, 2-1 against Coastal Carolina. The last time these two teams met, back on February 1st of last year, Marshall won that one 67-62. Head coach for Coastal Carolina is Justin Gray in his second season with the Chanticleers. He has an overall record of 70-78. He's 19-31 with Coastal, and he's never beaten head coach Cornelius Jackson. 0-2 against Corny, 0-2 against the Thundering Herd. Jackson, on the other hand, in his second season, 31-19, 2-0 against the Chanticleers. So this shapes up to be an interesting matchup for the Thundering Herd. Defensively, Coastal's a little bit better than their Herd, only giving up 71.8 points a contest. Marshall, on the other hand, is scoring almost 80, but gives up almost 76, floating around 75. So Marshall's not one of the best teams in the league when it comes to defense. On the other hand, Marshall does lead in several key categories: blocks, steals, the hustle points. Marshall, the leader in assists in the league at 17.5. Also, Marshall's number 2 in 3 points made, 10 a contest, 3-point percentage, 35.6 a game. Number 1 in assist to turnover ratio. So there's a lot of things going right for the Thundering Herd. We need a game from Jalen Spear today. He leads the league in assists at 5.9. If he's not on the floor, things aren't getting done. He's not making things happen. And, of course, you need your number 1 defender, Matt Van Komen, who is averaging almost 2.5 blocks a contest. You need him out on the floor making things happen for the Thundering Herd. So that's where we're at with this one, a little early preview. We'll break it all down for you coming up later on next hour on West Virginia and Appalachian Laborers District Council College basketball today. That is presented by Liuna, your workforce solution at WVLDC.org. So we're going to break that game down further as we get you closer to tip-off. Also, stick around after the game for those of you that are maybe driving in now to Huntington. Don't forget, after the game, keep it locked. After the game broadcast goes off, we go on the air, usually with comments from head coach Cornelius Jackson. We'll get your text and your reaction to hopefully a Thundering Herd victory, as Marshall looking to defend the home court. Only one blemish on the season for the Thundering Herd here in Huntington, so Marshall would like to continue. That's always the key for a lot of coaches. Win your home games. The only blemish was a 90-67 loss to Lipscomb here back on November 26th. Thundering Herd then goes on a 3-game losing streak. Actually, Marshall was losers of 4 of 6, starting with that loss against Virginia before Marshall got everything going. Only one hiccup in conference previously prior to Georgia State's loss with that 70-63 conference road opener. So we hope that the Thundering Herd can put it all together. This is a great opportunity for Marshall to maybe make some noise in conference. As you got 4 straight at home, you've got, after this one tonight, JMU coming in, you've got ULM, and then you've got probably the toughest test on the homestand against South Alabama. So 3 of the 4 are absolutely winnable, with the other one a definite fight, and it should be a fun one, but we've got the game right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. As we speak, I am looking at our guest coming down the stairs, only to walk back up the stairs. Ryan Crisp. He is Mr. Everything at Marshall University, the official title, which is too long in my estimation, the Associate Athletics Director, Ticket Sales and Fan Engagement. It's a long title, so we're going to try to get him corralled. He's going to join us here in the next couple of minutes on the program. Also, we're going to get your text in, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Texter says, that's straight-up murder to the team. Marshall has to be aware how often they're fouling. I get the struggle, but they have to stay focused. Stupid or silly, a foul is a foul. Absolutely. I appreciate the text, sir or ma'am. You are now entered into our ticket giveaway. That is coming up later on after the show, so stick around your phone. We'll get you information later if you are the winner. So keep your phone handy. If you're on your way to the Henderson Center, we'll send you a text. If you in the arena and you can't listen, we will let you know if you won. So, on the other side of the break, as soon as we can corral him, it's going to be Ryan Crisp. He joins us next on this edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Earn more with 4 at the best community bank in the Kanawha Valley, Poca Valley Bank. Poca Valley Bank is now offering a certificate of deposit special, 10-month APY, annual percentage yield 4%. Take advantage of this great rate to grow your savings. For more information, stop by one of the 8 Poca Valley Bank locations today. Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter.
Certain terms and conditions apply. Rates based on minimum annual percentage yield. Subject to change without notice. Minimum deposit required of $10,000 of new money not currently on deposit with Poca Valley Bank to receive APY. Member FDIC.
Looking for midweek fun? Head to Frank's Place, where every night's a party. Wednesdays are full of brains and brews with trivia night. Grab your crew and show off what you know. Thursdays, crank it up with Singo Bingo. Music meets bingo for prizes and laughs. Then Fridays, we hand you the mic for karaoke night. Sing your heart out and start your weekend right. The fun never stops at Frank's Place. Great drinks, great friends, and good times. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Cold weather's on its way, and what do you want on those cold, chilly evenings? A warm blanket and a hot cup of cocoa. Well, you know who else wants the same comfort? Mice. Messy, uninvited guests. They sneak in and leave droppings, chew through your food and packages. Don't let mice take over your home this fall and winter. Call K&B Pest Control. We will kill for your business. Call today, 304-523-4281.
Cardinal Chevy kicks off the year of more. More selection, more discounts, more for your trade. Silverados, take up to $13,000 off. Tahoes and Suburbans up to $10,000 off. New Equinox from only $269 a month. All EV models have 0% financing. Plus, we will buy or trade any vehicle regardless of remaining payments. New ownership, improved processes, better deals. Better deal. The bow tie means a better buy. Get more at CardinalChevy.com. Together, let's drive. See dealer for details.
Yeah, the name is Oscar's Breakfast, Burgers, and Brews, but you know what? There's more than just the 3 B's at Oscar's. Oscar's has fresh, never frozen wings with homemade sauces and rubs, soups, chili, sandwiches, fresh salads, shareable apps like pretzel bites with beer cheese. Step out of your comfort zone and get something that doesn't start with a B. Get it? Breakfast, burgers, brews. Try something new at Oscar's Breakfast, Burgers, and Brews. River Place Plaza, Barbersville, OscarsBBB.com.
Are you ready to be a part of something bigger? Join a West Virginia Laborers Local Union. We're on the lookout for dedicated individuals to join our skilled workforce. With comprehensive training and a strong support system, we'll help you build a fulfilling career. Step into a future with endless opportunities. Visit WVLDC.org and start your journey today. West Virginia and Appalachian Laborers District Council and LIUNA, your workforce solution. WVLDC.org.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover guitar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
When I grow up, I want to be a baseball player. I would be the pitcher because they get to do something all the time.
If your child is sick over and over again, it could be PI, a defect in the immune system that affects millions. Early detection can give children a chance to dream. Jeffrey Modell Foundation, 25 years of helping children reach for their dreams. Visit us at info4pi.org or call 1-866-INFO4PI.
All right, he's miking up.
You're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
We continue on here from the Cam Henderson Center. Marshall getting set tonight to take on Coastal Carolina. Welcome back to today's edition of The Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. It's now time to welcome live in person the Associate Athletics Director, Ticket Sales and Fan Engagement, Marshall University, Ryan Crisp, as we are on the start of a 4-game home slate. Good to see you again in person.
Yeah, Paul, how are you?
I'm well.
Happy game day.
Yeah, it is. It's absolutely happy game day. Back for 4 here at the Henderson Center. You love that. I mean, you hate it when the herd goes on the road, but Marshall's got now 4 in a row here, so that should definitely make up for some lost time between last home game, and we're hoping that the herd can win 4 straight. But this game tonight is the start of that 4-game homestand. I know every night's got to be different, right? You can't have the same night every time someone comes into the Henderson Center.
Yeah, no, for sure. We're excited to welcome people back to the Henderson Center for some men's basketball, and we had a lot of momentum there before the last road trip, and the engagement was high. The energy was really high in the CAM, so we're excited to welcome people back. Probably the biggest thing for tonight is our students are back in town finally after it feels like a 6-month hiatus on winter break there. But they're back in town, and they're going to bring the energy tonight. We got some cool things for them. So we're excited to welcome the students back. And anytime the students and the band is back in the Henderson Center and playing, it just adds more energy to the arena as a whole. And so we're excited for that. And, yeah, obviously a big 4-game stretch. Starting with tonight against Coastal and then continuing, Saturday, Thursday, Saturday. So a big stretch of basketball coming up.
What's tonight's promotion for fans who are driving in and getting ready to come see this one?
Yeah, the big thing we did was kind of a quiet deal for this one. The game theme is actually Huntington Heroes. And so we reached out to the city of Huntington, and we did a little promotion for them, for city workers, to come out to the game and enjoy it on us as a thank you for everything they do. So that's tonight. Saturday is going to be a big one. Be on the lookout tomorrow for a really cool promotion that's going to come out. We're going to try to pack the CAM. We're going to try to fill it up, see how close we can get, and we're going to tease a little bit of a ticket promo that we might be able to introduce for all of next athletic year, depending on how it goes and the operation and how our fans respond to it. But we're excited for Saturday. Like I said, just stay tuned to Herd Zone social medias tomorrow for a special announcement to help fill the CAM up and a preview of a ticket promo that may be coming all of next year.
Okay, socials, find your way to X or Instagram, Facebook, just wherever the herd's at on social media, you can find what's going to happen tomorrow. Okay, so stay tuned for all of that. Of course, that game on Saturday is against JMU, so that's always a big one for the Thundering Herd. It's going to be a busy Saturday as well for the Thundering Herd at the Cam Henderson Center. And it actually starts on Friday because you've got swim and diving hosting duels. They've got Duquesne on Friday. That's going to be at 6 o'clock. And then Bowling Green and Duquesne on Saturday at 11 a.m., so you got to be excited to have more action here at the Cam Henderson Center all day.
Yeah, swimming and diving is one of those cool events. It's kind of like track and field, right? It's one of those that you probably don't see a whole lot. You probably, as a fan, watch it the Olympics every 4 years, and you go, wow, that's really cool. You get really into it. You develop some stars in those worlds that you're like, wow, I'm a fan of, Michael Phelps or Simone Biles or whatever it may be. But it's a chance for you to come to the Henderson Center and watch our Marshall swimming and diving team, a really, really competitive team. Free admission into those events. You come through the main entrance of the Henderson Center just like you're coming to a basketball game. The one on Friday night is actually going to be broadcasted. We're trying to do one a year when possible. We're going to be able to broadcast that one on ESPN Plus on Friday. So if you're not able to attend or you're not local, you can tune in to ESPN Plus and catch some of the swimming action.
Now, for the match on Saturday, you've got the basketball game, obviously. So how do fans need to navigate going from swimming and diving if they want to come Saturday and see that and then come to the basketball game?
Yeah, they'll be able to come to the swimming and diving match, and then we will clear the building in between. There'll be plenty of time in between before gates open for basketball, so we'll clear the building, and then you'll re-enter with your basketball ticket for that event. So no issues at all. You're able to come to the swimming meet, maybe head over to Fat Patty's, grab a little bite in between games, and then come back for the basketball game.
Okay. Fat Patty's, hit 7 Brew, right?
That's right.
Get some caffeine.
That's right.
You want to get any of the other sponsors here in?
And energize yourself before
Yeah.
the game. It's always a good thing when you got a little caffeine in the system.
Absolutely. Ryan Crisp is with us here. He is getting us caught up on all the events that are happening at the Henderson Center. Of course, with the swim and dive meet on Friday and Saturday, it's going to be a busy day. The Herd in action today against Coastal, Saturday against JMU, and then we're looking ahead to ULM and South Alabama. So anything you can tease there. I know we got the big ticket promo you mentioned for the game on Saturday. Going a little bit further, what can fans expect those next 2 games?
Yeah, for that Thursday game, as I mentioned, students are back on campus, so we're doing a little residence hall battle between the residence hall for that game, where they'll be able to check in the residence hall with the highest percentage attendance is going to get a cool little prize at the end of the night, and so that's going to be fun. And then Saturday is Coaches versus Cancer. So obviously a game to raise awareness for cancer, and we'll do some of our same initiatives we've done across the board for that, as well as probably one of my favorite halftimes we do. We're going to honor our student athletes that were on honor roll. So anyone with a 3.0 or above is going to come on the court at halftime. And I don't know if you saw the release a couple weeks ago about our fall GPA. But it's a lot of kids that are going to be 3.0 or above. So we're gonna fill the court. There's going to be a lot of student athletes representing their teams as athletes that are also that student first and have a 3.0 or above from the fall semester.
Hey, that's a great way to segue into what's happening at the Buck Harless. Lots of improvements, lots of changes there. So when the indoor facility was built and proposed, it wasn't just an indoor facility. It was a multi-purpose facility for all sports, not just football, but there's also the sports medicine equivalent part that's attached to it. Also, you have the Hall of Fame. You have the Buck Harless. There are so many things that add to that facility and benefit not only the community but Marshall. And the Buck Harless, probably the biggest of everything that has been built over there.
Yeah, for sure. Gerald's first message when he got here was that we are going to put an exclamation point on our student-athlete experience. Whether here for 6 months or 6 years, we are going to make sure when they walk away from Marshall University that they saw the value and they understand what they were able to receive while they were here. And part of that is in the Buck. So it's always been a nice academic center where kids can go for study halls or to work on homework or work on, whatever it may be. But now there's a lot of added things over there. There's a Be Heard mental health counseling is over there now. The nutrition station is based out of there. Jaden Hudson, who's our student athlete advisory rep, is over there where student athletes are able to book their community service hours or participate in groups on campus or whatever it may be. Community service is another big thing that Gerald is pushing. So every athlete is required to hit 15 hours of community service. That's the introductory goal. He's made it very clear that it's going to raise to 25 as he moves along here. But it's a great place for our student athletes to relax. There's a relaxation and recovery room that has all the special essential oils and massage chairs and pop-it things that you can do to relieve stress and all that cool stuff. So a very, very student-athlete focused area where, if they're in between class or in between practice and lift or whatever it may be, they're able to go over there and have a spot that they can feel safe, they can hang out, they can relax and, visit with their other student-athletes in the area.
So we can go over there, right? That sounds very relaxing. Can we go?
We can book you a time, Paul.
That would be
we
fantastic.
Can find a spot for you.
I'll put in some community service just for the just for some of those services. That's a big one right there, community service. Now, is it anything that the students want to do, or are there sort of we're going to guide you to what you can do? What's that look like? Because I might want to do something, and that might be off the beaten track for community service compared to some of the other things that are out there.
Yeah, for sure. It's a wide range of stuff, right? So there's certain teams that have focused on certain projects and have done a lot of work with those individual projects. There's also a lot of time spent in local schools. That's one of our focal points, is them getting in the local schools and letting younger kids from around the area see these athletes and understand what it takes to get to this level, and you can do it too, right? They all come from different backgrounds all across the world with different situations growing up, but they're able to come here and be a Division I athlete at the highest level. So for us, getting in schools is big. And then the other thing is there's also some student athletes that take initiatives on their own and create their own pathways and do their own thing and then recruit their friends along the way to help them. So lots of different stories within the student-athlete community service space, but a lot of the teams have, focused on one area that they're all participating in, and then, like I said, we like to get into the local schools, and that's a big part of what we're trying to do.
Ryan Crisp is with us, Associate Athletics Director, Ticket Sales and Fan Engagement. Is it too early to talk baseball and softball?
No. Baseball tickets, if you have season tickets, the renewals went out late last week. They're actually online for new season ticket sales right now. We haven't announced it yet, but it is online. We got everything up today, up and running. So if you're looking for baseball season tickets, you can do it. And, it'll be here before you know it. Softball hosts a couple of tournaments early in the year there where you can catch a lot of softball action early on. And then, baseball, softball, both opening days, February 27th, along with a couple basketball games. So it'll be a fun-filled day for Marshall Athletics.
What's going to be new at the Jack this year?
I think the biggest thing is, once again, just all areas connecting together better, right? So, especially from a fan engagement standpoint, working with our MMR partner, Learfield, who owns the sponsorship rights to everything in our buildings, working with them better on to creating better promotions, better fan giveaways. If fans have been to the Henderson Center the last couple weeks, they've seen the Brickin' for Chicken with Chick-fil-A, which was a huge hit after the App State game. And so just things like that help the fan, help them feel value. I will tell you probably one of the biggest changes we made. There's a few new season ticket packages that are, less cost than what the other season tickets have been in the past, which is great for fans. But then also anyone that is a season ticket holder, we've partnered with Buddy's Barbecue, our concessionaire within the Jack. They will receive 10% off every concession purchase they have throughout the year if they're a season ticket holder. So once again, just trying to add value to that season ticket and take care of our season ticket holders and make sure that they know that they're appreciated. And that was one way we were able to do that, is to provide that discount on concessions throughout the year.
Any hints, any promotions that are exciting you, or are going to hold on to those? I know you like to hold on to those.
Yeah, we like to hold on to them. There's a couple down the line. There's one we're going to start, hopefully, for the Miami basketball game when they come here on February 7th there. One will start there. That will carry over to baseball. But, it's always in the works, and we like to keep things under wraps until we're ready to go.
All right. I'm pushing for the Superstars. Let's get them back in town.
I would love it. They've reached out a couple times. We just got to find the date and the finances that work. But we love when they come to town. They're super entertaining.
They do more than just basketball. We could have possibly baseball superstar. Actually.
We could, 100% we could. Yeah, they specialize in minor league baseball over the summer. And so, yes, 100% we could.
Ryan Crisp is with us. Anything else happening that maybe you want to touch on while you got the moment?
I think the other thing that I was going to hit on is the Sweetheart Clinic.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, the annual event in the indoor facility. It's actually February 14th. It's on Valentine's Day this year. It's free for all girls ages 4 to 12. The biggest thing with that is the registration fills up so quickly every single year. Like, we're talking minutes. So if you didn't see the release, the registration is going to go live this Monday at 10 a.m. Once again, pay attention to herdzone.com. Herd Zone social media. That's where you're going to find the link to sign up and set your alarms, set your reminders, do whatever you got to do, because typically within about 10 to 15 minutes, that camp gets filled up. Probably it's our biggest event of the year, and probably my favorite event of the year in terms of what it does for young girls in the area and the participation from all of our sports teams. I'll tell you a quick little story about that. That is Marshall's February break. I didn't know they had that, but apparently that's a February break, so classes are dismissed on February 11th and 12th, and so it's a 4-day weekend for our athletes that aren't in season, and a lot of our female student athletes have changed their plans and are no longer going home or going on a trip because of the Sweetheart Clinic, because they want to be here for it and they want to participate in it. And so a really cool thing when our athletes are that bought in that they're willing, they don't get much time off as it is, right? As a college kid or as a student athlete, whatever it may be, you don't get much time off to go home or whatever it may be. And they're willing to cancel those plans or change their plans to be able to accommodate this and make it work on February 14th. So we're excited for that. This Monday, 10 a.m. is when registration opens.
And that's every women's sport. Every female-focused thing that happens at Marshall University goes through that Sweetheart Clinic.
Yep, it's a process, right? It's split into two different camps, and every sports team is represented, and you get to go around to every single station and try their sport, whether it's swimming or golf or cheerleading or dance or volleyball or basketball or softball, whatever it may be, cross-country track. They're all represented, and you get to participate with those student athletes and get a quick little training session on their sport.
Okay, and that is going to fill up quick. So get in now, set the alarm, set it 30 minutes prior.
Set them all the alarms.
Get the coffee brewing.
That's right.
Whatever it takes. Get the energy drinks going.
Your group text with all your friends. Make sure no one misses it.
Exactly, and that is going to be a big one. So Ryan Crispus with Associate Athletic Director, Ticket Sales and Fan Engagement. So we'll be back here. I'll see you Saturday. We'll also be back here the following Thursday, and then once again on Saturday. So very busy time for the Thundering Herd. You love it. Absolutely.
I do. It's awesome. It's awesome what I get to do. I get to wake up every day and do this, and it's a pretty cool little thing I get to do. It's not work, right? It's not a job. It's an awesome little thing, and couldn't be more excited to have 4 straight home games here and win some games.
Let's hope the women come back undefeated, by the way.
That'd be great.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
That would be amazing.
Fantastic, and we will be talking about that soon. Ryan Crisp, always a pleasure. Good to see you in person, and we'll get you back on the show real soon.
All right, thanks, Paul. Go Herd.
More coming up later on. I saw Bill Cornwell wandering around. The Hall of Famer will check in with us later on this edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Injured in a fall? Warner Law Offices is now here for you in Huntington on 4th Avenue across from the courthouse. Personal, local, decades of experience.
Call 345-6789.
Metro Community Federal Credit Union now brings you all the tech that big banks have, but still has that personal touch of a member-owned community credit union. Apple Pay? Got it. Digital wallet? Yep. Message pay by text, online loan payments, even chatting with a real person, not a bot. Open accounts, sign documents, and manage your money all online. It's the big bank tech you need from the local community-minded credit union you trust. Metro Community FCU. Visit metrocommunityfcu.com today.
Stuck in a state of falling behind, struggling to keep up with kids, finances, insurance, and life? Well, let your State Farm agent help you simplify and get to a better state. With State Farm handling your auto, home, and life insurance, you'll have more time to handle everything else. More money, too. Adding State Farm policies can earn discounts that could add up to 40%. Help you get ahead. Call an agent today and get to a better state with State Farm. In Huntington, Jeff Smith, 304-781-1234. And in Wayne, Vicky Tabor, 304-272-5149.
Let the Car Ferry bring a little magic to your driveway at Mark Porter Auto Group. With locations in Pomeroy and Jackson, Ohio, and Ashland, Kentucky, they make it easy to get into a safe, reliable vehicle. Every used car goes through a 117-point inspection, fall into a safe, reliable vehicle, and let the Car Ferry guide you to Mark Porter Auto Group in Pomeroy, Jackson, and Ashland, or shop 24/7 at markporterautogroup.com.
Giovanni's Pizza. Fresh, hot, and tasty. Have it delivered right to your door. Giovanni's. the Italian place to be.
Hey, it's Big John with Parlor from Sue's Junk. Let's say you've heard the ads on the air, but you don't know anything about Sue's Junk Parlor. Tell them all about it.
Well, we have over 400 vendors here. We're open 7 days a week. Tons of booths, tapes. You could spend all day in here shopping all these amazing booths. We always say we have something for everybody, but when you come in here, it's true. And we always see when people walk in the door, they just stand there in awe. We say, first time? Yes. Oh, my gosh, I didn't know this place was like this. It'll be your new favorite hot spot in town.
Visit Sue's Junk, 459 Camden Road, Huntington.
Stuck in a state of falling behind, struggling to keep up with kids, finances, insurance, and life? Well, let your State Farm agent help you simplify and get to a better state. With State Farm handling your auto, home, and life insurance, you'll have more time to handle everything else. More money, too. Adding State Farm policies can earn discounts that could add up to 40%. Help you get ahead. Call an agent today and get to a better state with State Farm. In Huntington, Ray Crabtree, 304-736-8181. In Milton, Russ McRae, 304-743-9318. And in Lavallette, Jason Elkins, 304-529-7555.
I'm Naheem Hines, professional football player and proud supporter of the Muscular Dystrophy Association. My mom was diagnosed with muscular dystrophy when I was 14, and I watched her struggle. But MDA helped her get the best treatments and care, and they also help kids like my buddy Ethan.
My name is Ethan. Thanks to the Muscular Dystrophy Association and people like you, I have more hope than ever before. From day one, they've treated me like family at my local care center. MDA is the only one that funds over 150 care centers across the U.S. to help provide state-of-the-art care for adults and kids like me.
MDA has been transforming the lives of people living with muscular dystrophy, ALS, and other related neuromuscular diseases. They fund the research for breakthrough treatments, care, and cures. And MDA provides support to thousands of families like mine and Ethan's in communities like yours. Thanks to MDA, kids and adults can live life to its fullest. Join us and learn more at MDA.org today.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer.
When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. Brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Follow at Paul Swann on X for Marshall sports updates and more.
We continue on with this edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Our text line this hour, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop. We're going to give you a chance to win a pair of tickets to the Herd's next game on Saturday against JMU. Texter, in relation to earlier's conversation about Marshall losing maybe what could be a hiccup, a bump in the road, Texter says, I'm not so sure the last game was a hiccup. In the 3 games prior, the Herd blew big leads, and while they hung on, they kept getting closer to a loss until finally they fell through at Georgia State. But as always, go Herd. Ends on a positive note. Appreciate the text. You can join in as well, and that's 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. So we've got conference action picking back up tonight. It's a light night in the league, actually. There are only other 2 games to watch tonight. The first one also starts at 7 o'clock, and that's Southern Miss at Troy. Southern Miss is 5-1 on top of the league, 11-7 overall. Troy, 4-1, 11-6. Of course, Marshall losing to Troy back on December 20th. So this will be an important game to kind of maintain the top spot in the league standings. And then at 8 o'clock tonight, it's going to be Louisiana at Texas State. Louisiana, 2-4 in league play, 4-14 overall. Texas State, a little bit better overall at 9-9, but still struggling in league. Also at 2-4. So an interesting night in league play. And then, of course, on Thursday, there'll be 3 more games. Saturday, almost everyone, it looks like, is in action. As far as the standings are concerned, Southern Miss on top of the league at 5-1, as we mentioned. 3-way tie for second between Arkansas State, Georgia Southern, and Troy at 4-1. Marshall could be in that right now but losing to Georgia State, her dropping to 3-2, tied with South Alabama. And then you have two teams that are 3-3, and that includes Georgia State, that got that win over Marshall to improve its spot in league play. So all of a sudden, it's sort of one of those middle teams that could go either way. Right now, the league is top-heavy. Marshall could be among the leaders, but it's going to have to win its next 4 games for it to be among those leaders. And also, for the Thundering Herd, the most important thing is going to have to be making sure you're winning convincingly. And, of course, you can't lose to teams like Georgia State because that's going to hurt your net ranking. Right now, the Herd is 140 in the net ranking. Arkansas State a little bit better at 129, and then Troy is at 126. Tonight's opponent, Coastal Carolina, 250 in the net ranking. So this is a game in which the Thundering Herd has to win if you want to keep your position in the net, because while the standings do matter, and as far as playoff positions concerned, that's going to be important for the postseason tournament. The net's really going to be what helps you. If you can't win the conference tournament, you at least want to have a legitimate shot at the NIT.
Yep.
As the Hall of Famer Bill Cornwell now joins us.
Yeah, and Paul, that loss at Georgia State hurt in that category because, Georgia State, we've seen them twice now. They've got a good balance of talent, but we've talked over and over about how low they were in the net. And you lose to them, and you take a hit. And the Herd took a hit in the net because of that loss. So they got ground to make up now, and that's what these 4 home games are going to the opportunity to do. They need to not just play, but play strongly in these games and win strongly and build that net number back up.
We are going to get your text in, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Don't forget, we're going to give you a chance to win tickets to go see the Herd take on JMU. That's coming up on Saturday, so you got to text in before the end of the show for your chance to win. More from the Henderson Center when we continue with this edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Mike Rowe here with another random fact. Those cracks on your walls aren't just cosmetic. They could mean your home is sinking. Whether it's drywall cracks, exterior cracks, or sticking doors or windows, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys, and they're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to stabilize your foundation. Baker's Waterproofing and Basement Authority of West Virginia are now Groundworks. Schedule a free inspection.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Looking for midweek fun? Head to Frank's Place, where every night's a party. Wednesdays are full of brains and brews with trivia night. Grab your crew and show off what you know. Thursdays, crank it up with Singo Bingo. Music meets bingo for prizes and laughs. Then Fridays, we hand you the mic for karaoke night. Sing your heart out and start your weekend right. The fun never stops at Frank's Place. Great drinks, great friends, and good times. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Roosters presents Bowl Mania. Kendrick Communications and Roosters have joined forces to bring you nearly 40 bowl games, from the opening kickoffs to the massive New Year's showdowns and the College Football Playoff National Championship. We're bringing you every heart-pounding moment. Listen to the full slate of action on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930 and Cat Sports 93.3 and 1340. It's time to go bowling. Bowl Mania is an exclusive presentation of Kendrick Communications Sports, presented by Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
University Ford kicks off the year of more. More selection, more discounts, more for your trade. Escapes and Bronco Sports, just $299 a month. F-150s, take $11,000 off or finance at 0.9%. Last of the Super Duties gotta go. Now to $8,000 off. Plus, we will buy or trade any vehicle regardless of your remaining payment. New ownership improved processes, better deals. Better deals. The bow tie means a better buy. Get more at UniversityFordWV.com. See dealer for complete details on all offers.
The Greenup County Public Library has fun events that you won't want to miss.
Girls' Night at the McKell Branch will be Tuesday, January 15th at 6 p.m. with the movie Soul on Fire. The Flatwoods Branch will host Crafty Tuesday, January 20th at 5:30 p.m. making a snowman from a mini cutting board. All branches will be closed Monday, January 19th in observance of Martin Luther King Day. Visit the Greenup County Public Library Facebook page or the website greenuplib.org for complete details and other library news.
Cardinal Chevy kicks off the year of more. More selection, more discounts, more for your trade. Silverados take up to 13 grand off. Tahoes and Suburbans up to 10 grand off. New Equinox from only $269 a month. All EV models have 0% financing. Plus, we will buy or trade any vehicle regardless of remaining payments. New ownership, improved processes, better deals. Better deals. The bow tie means a better buy. Get more at CardinalChevy.com. Together, let's drive. See dealer for details.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff. But still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed. And they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs. And it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover guitar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer.
When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. Brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Miss an episode? Catch it anytime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
We continue on with this edition of Your Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Alongside Bill Cornwell, we're getting you set for Marshall and Coastal Carolina. Top of the hour, we'll also be on 93.7 The Dog as Marshall is getting set to begin the four-game homestand, taking on the Chanticleers coming into the Henderson Center. This is a place that limited action for the Chanticleers, but already it's been tough for, really, this team has only lost, well, Marshall has only lost one time to Coastal Carolina.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say here, Bill, is 5-1.
5-1.
And 2-1 on the road for Marshall with 3-0 here at the Henderson Center. So it's been tough for teams in conference, obviously, to come into Huntington and win, but especially for Coastal Carolina. And did you know we've got some connections between Coastal Carolina and South Carolina and, of course, Marshall University? Did you know Marshall Director of Athletics Gerald Harrison is a native of Florence, South Carolina? You knew that, Bill.
I did. And certainly for a lot of our folks here in the tri-state, Myrtle Beach is like a second home.
Right. This should be the Dan D'Antoni Cup for all purposes.
Remember Dan D'Antoni, of course, coached high school ball at Myrtle. They're near Conway.
Yeah. This is the Dan D'Antoni Cup, if I've ever seen a game that deserved a trophy. And, of course, here's an interesting note. This doesn't necessarily connect to South Carolina, but you've got Canadians on both sides of this game tonight. Braden McVicker is a native of Nova Scotia, and, of course, Wilson Dubinsky and Noah Ashuti are from Ontario. So you've got a little Canadian action going on tonight here on the courts.
Maybe they need to like Maple Leafs on their uniforms to help to identify them. I don't know.
Wear the Canadian flag on their jersey.
The little Canadian flag.
Yeah, you know,
okay.
I mean, that would be okay. I don't know if I would go that far with it, but so you've got a little interesting connection or two. not much between the two programs. I think the Dan D'Antoni connection's probably the deepest, just because Dan and the entire state of West Virginia all live in the summer in South Carolina for the most part. Bill, I'm surprised you don't vacation in South Carolina.
I'm not a Myrtle Beach person, to be honest. I've been a couple of times, and one was for a wedding for our dear late friend Mark Wood, or with Mark Wood, that is. I went to the Myrtle Beach Bowl when Marshall played against UConn. That's been it.
That's it for Billy's vacationing in Myrtle Beach. Well, we've got the pregame coming up in the next few minutes, but this is an interesting one for me. The Herds 8-1 at home right now. You look at Coastal Carolina. A couple things maybe stand out. They're solid defensively. They only give up about 72 points a contest. Marshall has given up more than 75 a game. Marshall scores almost 80. Coastal scores a little under 73. Rebounding might be a big one here tonight because both teams are very good. Coastal is rebounding a little bit better than the Herd, almost 41 rebounds a contest, where Marshall is pulling in a little over 38, almost 39. The rebound margin is actually in Marshall's favor here, but for everything that has gone on the last couple of weeks for the Thundering Herd, Marshall's going to have to keep Matt Van Komen on court tonight, and this team is going to have to block out, get rebounds, not foul, and send the other team to the free throw line, because Marshall's been giving up a lot of free points. Now, this team isn't going to kill you the way that Georgia State would. It's only shooting 71.3% from the free throw line, but just how many times Marshall sent Georgia State to the free throw line, even if you're shooting over 70%, that's going to kill you the way Marshall did itself in that last game.
It started getting a little ridiculous later in that game, Paul, Saturday down in Atlanta, because it just seemed like Marshall was just a step slower than Georgia State. They were a little lackadaisical, and believe me, they've been hurt from it this week, and they heard from it after the game from Corny Jackson, the fact that, you got to be moving your feet, you got to be on your toes when you're playing defense, or you're going to keep drawing these fouls like this, and you're going to be giving away basically free points to the opposition, and that's really what happened in that Georgia State game. I mean, they got so many chances to stand there with the clock stopped and knock down points, and that was too good of a foul shooting team, as you remember, Paul, to allow that to happen.
Shot 84.6%, which is even better than its average.
Yeah, and they still already shot a high 70% for their free throws.
Second half especially, 89%.
Yeah.
Marshall gave up 23 points. It was 13-22 from the line for Marshall, 33 of 39 for Georgia State. The difference was 20 points. Right there. That's your ball game. If you can cut that in half, it's a little closer. Also, the fact that Marshall, unfortunately, just in that second half, they shot 23% from the three-point line. 3 of 13. They shot 12 of 32. That's fine, but that was still better and good enough to beat this Georgia State team.
Well,
and we are going to head on over now to the 93-7 The Dog. We've got basketball action continuing next. It's going to be West Virginia and Appalachian Laborers District Council college basketball today. That is coming up next right here and on 93.7 The Dog.